Hello, today is October 16th. I'm here with Eddie Williams. I'm interviewing him in his home in Maryland. And this interview is part of the DC Oral Histories Project, which is sponsored by the DC Humanities Council and the Neighborhood Farm Initiative. Eddie, thanks for allowing me to come over and do this today.
You're welcome.
And would you start just by telling folks your name and address?
My name is Eddie R. Williams. Okay. My name is Eddie R. Williams. My address is 7111 Cipriano, Cipriano, Springs Drive, Lanham, Lanham, Maryland, 20706.
Thank you. And so I guess let's start and talk about, maybe some of your earlier days. I know you said you spent some time in the military. And
I spent 24 years in the military.
Yeah.
And wasn't any gardening involved, though.
Mm-hmm. What about before that? When were you involved as a child in any gardening or anything?
Yes, my father and father down in Virginia, Harrisonburg, on the side of Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Okay. They were both gardeners by profession or farmers by profession, or
Survival by profession.
Okay. So did you have a pretty large garden as a child? Or?
Oh yeah, we had about a couple of acres.
And was that something that you as a child participated in, or was it kind of a chore? Or
you got it right, sure.
Yeah. So you probably weren't too interested in it.
No.
Yeah. Did you have any siblings that were also involved, or?
No, I have no siblings.
Okay. So what kind of stuff do you remember growing when you were growing up? What types of vegetables did you guys have?
Vegetables, beans, beets, lettuce, tomatoes, corn. Corn. Spinach.
So was it common did a lot of the other people in your neighborhood and area grow food as well?
No, that was survival. You grew vegetables and things so you could can them. You can the vegetables, and so you could have them for the winter. You know, we had hundreds and hundreds of cans of fruit under the cellar, under the house. Mm-hmm. Very interesting. I mean, I can the situation now. So. I can a lot of food here, but.
Do you still do it the same exact method as you did growing up, or is it a little different? Or?
No, I did the same thing here.
Mm-hmm. So do you have a basement here you store everything in, or is it just
no? I got a back room. I go in the back room back there and put some. I store some here.
Yeah.
And I can some beans, beets, tomatoes.
So when you were growing up, do you remember as a child where your parents may have gotten seeds, or did you guys save seeds, or do you remember how that worked?
No, seeds. You could get the seeds from the store, agriculture store, like Farm Bureau and all that stuff. You got seeds from there.
So, would you say that your family growing up, did you grew most of the food that you ate, right? Or is that inaccurate?
Yeah, 90% of it.
Yeah. And how do you remember, did you go just to any regular grocery stores, or did you used to barter with people for other things, or do you remember much?
No, we went to the grocery store and got some.
Mm-hmm.
Then what happened was when you you go to the grocery store, And then you, a lot of people give you stuff, you know. You could buy like sweet potatoes and stuff. You could buy that. Sweet potatoes only cost about, we'll say, maybe $5. $5 to get you so many sweet potatoes you couldn't even grow them all.
Yeah.
Then you take them from that year and you redo them for next year. But other than that, it's recycling. That's all it was, recycling everything.
Mm-hmm.
I grew a lot of sweet potatoes out here. Well, 2 years ago, I had about, maybe about, well, I enjoy it out here. Gardening out here, I really did.
At the house or?
Over in Mamie D. Lee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had, I had so much food out there the same. So when they start stealing it, then I gotta leave it alone. Then
Yeah.
I don't like nobody to take my shit, especially when I work so hard. Man.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you feel like the fence has deterred theft since it's been put up, or?
This is between you and I.
Well, this is being recorded, so it's not between just us.
I think the fence is okay.
Mm-hmm.
It helps, but then, it's some people just get membership to go in the garden. Get what they want.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that as well. So let's go back a little farther. When you left, did you leave? You said Harrisburg, and then did you go straight to the military, or did you travel anywhere else before that?
No. I worked down here in summertime. Came down here, worked down here, buy my clothes to go to school. I went to school in Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went into service from Harrisonburg.
What year did you start in the service?
1950.
Mm-hmm. And then you said you were in the service for 23 years?
24.
24. Okay. And did that take you abroad? I mean, did you travel?
Oh yeah, I had 4 years in the Navy and the rest of that 20 years in the Air Force.
Okay. And did you fly planes? Or?
No,
I'm sure everyone asks you that, right?
I was a medical, a lab technician.
Mm-hmm.
It was all right though.
Yeah. Did you have any favorite or spots that you really enjoyed being in overseas, or was it just kind of like a job for you?
No, I loved every place I went overseas. I just couldn't get enough going over there.
Yeah, like where are some of the places?
You name it. I got Paris, Germany, so like Luxembourg. I don't know, quite a few others.
Yeah. And so, I mean, when you went to these other places, did you have to kind of adjust somewhat to, I mean, the local cuisine? I mean, I'm sure there's vegetables.
No, they had everything you have in America, but
yeah,
practically.
What about the actual places where you would buy? I mean, did they have more type of open markets and things?
Oh, yeah, they had some open markets, but see, you didn't mess with that kind of stuff over there, see, because you had to. It's a different format when you go buy food over there. You got to wash it and all that stuff. So it's not like you're going to the United States. You got to wash everything.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you get all the bacteria. See, because they use the well, let me say it this way. they used, they take fecal material from the toilets and put on the field for fertilizer.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
You want to stay away from that shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get worms and shit from there.
Mm-hmm. So you did the 24 years in the military. Did you come when you were done? Did you come back to Virginia or DC?
No. I came back here. Came back to DC, DC area.
And was that because there were jobs, or what made you choose DC?
Well, I don't know. It's just I can get a job.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't need any, but I did.
Yeah.
I worked part-time for about 10 years after I got out of service.
So you were here in 1970, about 74, about when you got to DC?
1974, see. 1974. When I got to D.C. was I got discharged from Washington State, and I drove back here, and I got me a job. So.
Do you remember what kind of work you did when you first got here? Or?
Oh, I was a lab tech.
Same thing, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, what part of DC did you move to at first? What neighborhood did you live in, or?
No, I was married then when I got back here. I bought a house over in Silver Spring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know how that goes. And that was it.
So what was Silver Spring like in the late 70s?
It was all right.
I mean, was it as built up? I mean,
it was building. It's increasing population.
And you were there. I mean, were you there before they did the metro, or?
Yeah, I was in there for the mill.
Mm-hmm. And so when you came to DC, I mean, were there any specific stores or markets or anything that
you had farmers markets. You had farmers market out in northeast. You know that off of Ben's Road. You see him, you back right?
Yeah, past.
Yeah.
And that one's been around since you can remember.
I used to have an Oak Street market too.
Yeah.
Up on Oak Street, northwest.
O Street, okay.
Northwest.
Okay.
That's where they used to go all the time.
What did you like about those particular markets? Was there anything?
I didn't care about that shit.
Alright. Fair enough.
Really?
So, I mean, at what point did you start, being interested in growing food? I mean, was it before you moved to DC, or was it once you got here?
No, after I left, when I came to DC, I never was interested in growing no damn food.
Mm-hmm.
I did it because someone else talked me into it.
Someone else taught you, you said?
Talked me into it.
Oh, talked you into. Well, how did that go?
Well, I didn't mind growing food, but he talked me into it. And then I started gardening. I ain't never stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was your first attempt at Mamie D. Lee, or?
Yeah.
So the guy, do you remember the guy's name that introduced you to Mamie D. Lee, or?
Yeah. Good little thing.
You can think about it. We could come back to it.
In a minute. He's over in. Shit.
You still see him sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You probably know him yourself.
Hmm.
Benny and another guy. Bernard and Benny.
Those are the guys that talked you into joining the garden? So how did you know them before the garden? Where did you?
I was working in the hospital with them.
Okay.
VA hospital.
All right. And so they had already been at the garden a couple years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you said you got there at 77?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, I talked to Benny already about, the garden, but was it full? What was it like? I mean, was there a lot? Were most of the plots taken, or were people just kind of gardening all over it? Or how was it? How was it then?
Well, once upon a time, there were a lot of plots, but nobody would take care of them. See,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a thing out there. I don't know what it is, but I like to grow my stuff. I like to grow a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started growing, I had a lot of plots. I had at least 8 or 10.
Right from the beginning?
Not from the beginning I did, but the next year I did.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good thing because I don't like no little stuff.
So why were you able to get so many plots? Were there just
Well, nobody coming and taking them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They were Rick Jones. You know him, don't you?
I don't think I've met him.
Well, he was working in the hospital with me.
Mm-hmm.
He had a garden. I came out and took a couple plots. They stole and stealing so much.
So he's not at the garden anymore then?
He don't garden anymore. He's sick.
Yeah. So I mean, when you were there, throughout the late 70s and early 80s, I mean, was the water already set up then, or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
water used to come up from the top of the hill a little bit, where you see them trees.
Oh, by the field, the soccer field that's up there?
No. As the pipes run up the hill.
Like if you're looking at the school, which way?
No. Let me see. You had we had a little thing down here. You used to cut the water on down here.
Mm-hmm.
Then it feed it from the top of the hill. Come down the hill and all that shit. Man, that was a bitch. I used to do that shit all the time.
Why was it so hard? I don't understand why. Why was it difficult? I don't understand.
You ever lay any pipe?
No.
Well, I used to lay that pipe from top of that hill all the way down to the garden.
Oh, you had to do it. You had to put a pipe down every time?
Yeah, if some nut can go up and break it.
Oh, okay.
You had a lot of problems with kids going up there and breaking the pipe in two.
Got you. So how long was that the format, the setup, until we switched to what we have now? I mean, was that?
It's the same thing. Only thing is, well, the setup you got now is no different from the other, but you just had do the pipe.
Is it like buried now, or is that?
It was buried then,
Hmm.
but then yeah, I used to fix the pipe every time it broke.
Mm-hmm.
That was any time kids come out there drinking and shit.
Mm-hmm.
They just knock the thing off, break it. The water be running all down in the garden and shit. fuckers.
Yeah. So what about tools and stuff? I mean, did everyone bring their own stuff?
Yeah, usually 90% of them brought their own tools.
Yeah.
I got some stuff out there now. Somebody took my plow. I had to go there and find it. I had a push plow. I know you've seen it out there, right?
The red one? Oh, yeah, there's the little two-handle thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know where it is?
No, I never used it though, so I don't really look out for it.
Damn. I'll find it.
Yeah. So I mean, what else do you remember about when you first got to Mamie D. Lee? I mean, were you surprised that there weren't as many people gardening as or?
I went to trying to downgrade anybody, but you get people trying to garden. Some don't. You get a lot of people out there new garden because they're from the South, like North Carolina and all that shit. They new gardening now. But I just had a good time doing it because I go out there in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and what I had to do, I'd be done by 9 or 10. I just come on back. It's good for 3 or 4 days. That's what I did.
So how long did you live in Silver Spring before you moved farther out here?
I didn't move. I moved out here, and me and my wife divorced. I moved out here in 99.
Okay, so for the most part, you've just been from Silver Spring to Fort Totten. That's not as far.
Oh, Fort Totten was just a garden. I came from Silver Spring to here.
Well, that's what I mean in terms of, you said you were going to the garden at 5 in the morning. Most of that time it wasn't from all the way out here, it was from closer in.
No.
Well, okay.
From here.
Oh, alright. That's a trek, man.
Yeah. It ain't that far. It takes about 15 minutes.
Yeah. I guess that time of day is probably the best time
Yeah.
to go.
University of Maryland.
Yeah.
Go right by there and go right up.
So who else is out there at that time?
Usually nobody. Sometimes you get a couple of people out there.
Yeah.
But that's good.
Mm.
You don't worry about somebody knocking in the head.
So, I've heard people mention that they think that there's more, like the deer population has increased.
Yeah, not since they got the fence up.
But just in general, in terms of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Deer used to live in the garden, boy. Come back the next morning, shit. Damn.
So do you feel like there's the deer? I mean, you haven't noticed. I guess what I was saying is that some people I talked to feel like that 20 or 30 years ago there were not as many deer around as there are.
Oh,
now.
shit was a lot more than it is now.
Okay, so you feel the opposite.
Yeah.
All right.
You can see them, but
Yeah.
they come all over it, man.
So what was like? Did you try to avoid planting certain things because you knew it would attract more deer, or?
Well, you couldn't stop them because you had no fence up, see?
Mm-hmm.
So they just come in and eat what they want. See, I got damn Lyme disease, some fucking tick.
You got Lyme disease?
Yeah, I had it.
Oh man, I heard that's pretty serious.
I ain't serious, but you can get rid of it.
Yeah.
But it's a bitch.
And you think that was just from being out gardening, or?
Yeah, garden. Deers carry Lyme disease.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hate that shit, man. I had to go to the doctor 3 times a week and have fluid drawn off my knee.
Oh man.
And I fucking knee was sharp like this.
Yeah.
Bitch.
So, can you tell me what you remember about? Benny mentioned that there used to be, you used to have like get-togethers and things.
Oh, well, yeah, we used to have parties and everything out there.
What do you remember about that?
Oh, We had a lot of, had a lot of food. Everybody bought a plate or something.
Mm-hmm.
And had to cook out
How often was it?
once or twice. Let's see, about 3 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had a couple trips to New Jersey on the bus.
Okay. What was that about?
Go over and gamble.
All right. And it was mostly maybe Lee Gardeners. He rented a bus. And
Yeah, we ran a bus and went up there.
Awesome. All right.
We had to have a good time, man.
Yeah. That's great. So, over the year, I mean, you've been at Mamie D. Lee, I guess. The math is, 36 years, right?
What?
1977 to 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a good chunk.
Yeah, but I just got out of the military there.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah, I was working at the VA.
yeah. So I mean, how did things change over the 30 years? I mean, there's obviously been more and more people coming to garden, and there's smaller plots.
Well, once upon a time, you had pure gardeners out there.
Mm-hmm.
They raised some shit. You hear what I said? They act like they want to go out there and talk shit, drink liquor every day.
Mm-hmm.
It was really nice for a while.
Yeah.
But then after that, it started going down the hill.
Like, what are some of the ways that you feel like the garden started going downhill?
Yeah, going down the hill means that you didn't have well, what I'm saying, everything changes, that.
Mm-hmm.
So then they start drinking liquor and shit and all that. It went good for a while. And
Do you feel like the people that are more recent are as serious gardeners as the people you were describing, or?
well, you got some serious gardeners out there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many, but you got some serious gardeners out there. And but not me.
Well, it sounds like you were pretty serious at one time.
Oh, I mean, I grew up some shit out there, man.
Yeah.
I think I got some beans up there now.
So who are some of the serious gardeners that you know of right now? I mean, licorice seems pretty serious.
Oh, licorice grows some shit, boy.
Yeah.
Damn, he grows some shit.
Yeah.
He grows some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Licorice and Bernard and the other guy up there, up on the other end up there. Your gardener's by there too, right?
Yeah, I'm right near Benny and Bernard.
Yeah.
By Harry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I recognized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the NFI has just been a recent, kind of a semi-recent thing involving in Mamie D. Lee. Do you think that they've had some influence in terms of creating more interest in people coming to the garden? Because I know, like me personally, that's why I'm there, because I found out about it through NFI. So do you think they've helped in terms of like increasing interest at all?
Well, if you don't have no interest in it, you don't have no interest in it.
Mm.
That's the way I look at it.
Mm.
But if you're interested in doing it, then you'll get you a couple of plots and do it. You got to get better. Can't get any worse than what you are when you start.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get into it and start growing stuff, nothing but a dream, man.
So what are some of the techniques that you use that some other people might not use? Or do you have any special ways that you string your beans up, or
Yeah, I get beans that pole beans,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't use all kinds of pole beans, but I get mine from North Carolina, and beets and all that stuff. I had all that stuff. You know where the shed is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to have from the shed all the way back over to. I used to have sweet potatoes, 4 rows of sweet potatoes. I'll be about 50 feet long, and I don't know. I just quit.
So what did you do? I mean, you couldn't even eat that much food, even if someone paid you to. I mean, what'd you do with it?
I gave it to my sister, my cousin, and shit.
And they could take care of all. It sounds like you had more food than that too, man.
Oh, I had a lot of food, man.
Yeah.
He really had a lot of food. So, squash and all that shit. Man, I had so much squash and shit. I got some out there now. I gotta go out there and get some zucchinis out. I got some zucchinis out there. I know I have.
So did you used to have a garden at your house in Silver Spring too?
No.
No.
That's really go. I went over to Mamie. I got a garden at Mamie D. Lee.
Yeah. So, I mean, what you said you grow beets and squash and pole beans. What are some of the other things you really like to grow? You grow winter and you don't put any fall crops or anything?
No fall crops.
Why is that?
What's the fall crop?
Greens, kale, spinach.
Well, I put some collard greens up there. I had enough collard greens. You could probably see what I did about collard greens is that I took it. I played the collard greens. I plant collard greens twice a year. So when I planted them the first time, they weren't. Then when I replanted them, I had a lot of collard greens. Yeah. And go out there and somebody take them.
Yeah.
Fuck. I used to have. I used to take my brother up there in Virginia. I used to take some up there to him. I took some up there and planted them for him. He liked collard greens, man. I took them up there and planted them for him. He fucked them all up.
He just didn't water them, or what?
You tell him something, you got to water them, man.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, you got to water them and keep them watered.
Yeah.
I go up there and he said, they didn't grow. I said, shit.
They didn't grow. Too busy, huh?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Alright, so for 36 years you've been planting in the District of Columbia. So what, if any, have you noticed any changes in weather? Do you plant any different times than you did in the 80s? I mean, or is everything, do you do the same thing still?
Yeah, you're planting about the same thing. I understand what you're saying, but some things you can plant 3 times a year. Some things you can plant twice a year. So, like beans, for instance. You can plant beans 3 times a year. Like beets, you plant them twice a year. And you take not black-eyed peas, but beans. Anything I can plant twice a year, I plant it twice. Early crop, late crop. I did that twice a year. So I had food. I always had food. So I just got tired of it. I was throwing more away than I was doing anything else. So I said, fuck it, I ain't doing no more.
I know one of the first times I met you, it was in 2011.
Probably so,
It was only about almost couple years ago. I remember, yeah, you just were like, hey, see those peppers? Take as many as you want.
Yeah.
I'm getting rid of them. It was good, man. We ate them all. So it was good.
That's what I used to do with everything.
Yeah.
I didn't do nothing. I ain't gonna do no more.
Mm-hmm.
See, I got a lot of tomatoes out there now. See, and make cha-cha. You know what cha-cha is? Relish. I make relish out of it. I said I wasn't gonna fuck with them things no more.
So is it like a spicy thing with peppers and stuff?
Yeah, peppers
Mm-hmm.
and shit in it.
Yeah. What else? Do you have any other special dishes you make? I mean, you've been growing all this food. You must have figured out some nice stuff.
Oh, I did. I used to make all kinds of shit. I used to can tomatoes and cha-cha. I make cha-cha and God, I used to. What the fuck was it? No.
You used to do a lot of cooking though. Yourself? Did you cook yourself, or was it kind of?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
cook myself.
You always been a cook?
Oh yeah, I never stop.
Yeah.
Yep, I like cooking, man.
So is there? I mean, you know, I've asked you a lot of questions, but I mean, what would you want people to know about Mamie D. Lee or about God?
Mamie D. Lewis is it's good. It's a nice garden.
Mm-hmm.
All you gotta do is get the weeds out.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it is. It's a nice garden area.
Have you been to any of the other community gardens?
No, I have had plenty of them right there. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I mean, do you have any type of advice for folks, you know, young folks that aren't sure if they think they want to do it, but they're not sure? And
Well, you gotta, if you want anything, that's like you're doing anything. If you gotta put some interest in it if you want to do it. But you can't go out there and grass been growing this tall and you look and see where the vegetables are. No. You got to get them out when
yeah.
you have rainy seasons and you don't have rainy seasons. Other than that, it's pretty good.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, I guess if you don't have any other memories that you might.
No, I ain't got no memories. I just hard work out there, man. Shit.
All right. Well, that's cool, man.
Yep.
Well, hey, I just want to thank you.
Yeah.
Thank everyone for listening. Again, this was an interview with Eddie Williams, and we can wrap it up from here.
All right.